How's it going, lads? The Nuggets are already strong title contenders. But I think there's a move which makes an early good amount of sense that I don't think anyone's really talking about. I think it might be Chris Paul. Let's get into it. Yes, that Chris Paul. 40-year-old, seemingly washed Chris Paul. Listen, Chris Paul is 40 years old. He is not prime Chris Paul. We're obviously not getting vintage CP3. I'm not asking for that. He's not going to drop 20 a night. He's not going to be one of the best players in the league. But that's not what the Nuggets need. The Nuggets have been amazing this season. I have loved watching us. We have been fantastic. But there is one position which you could say we don't really lack, but it could be a problem if Jamal Murray goes down with an injury, which we all know can happen. And that's the backup point guard position. Listen, I love Bruce, but he's not the same type of point guard as Jamal Murray. He can't run an offense. We're not asking him to do that. That's not a fault of his. You know, he has the strengths that we use. But I think the backup to Jamal Murray is definitely a possible weak point if Jamal Murray goes down especially. And I think Chris Paul is a great option. The IQ, the passing, being a veteran that knows what it's like to play in the NBA. All we need is a couple of good minutes from him a night. And listen, I know this season he has been horrible. One of the reasons why he's been cut from the Clippers is because he's been horrible. But he hasn't been horrible for 3 years now. I think this is a risk, but it's a low risk, high reward risk. Because at the age he is at, and obviously he's a free agent, so we're going to get him for a cheap price. So we're not doing a stupid trade here. This is a low risk, high reward situation, and it might not work out. But I think the main thing about this is not only how I do think, I still believe in Chris Paul as a player. Listen, you don't be one of the best players in the league for so long, and I guess you could lose it, I suppose. But I believe in Chris Paul. Because, listen, Chris Paul, he's not a winner. All right, let's be real, he's never won anything. But he's not a lazy person, in my opinion. And that's also one of the main reasons why I would love to see him on the team. Not just because of playing, but off the court as well. When Chris Paul was reported to be removed from the LA Clippers, one of the reasons was because he was too vocal about winning. I mean, it's absolutely crazy how that is a problem. But even though he's never won a ring, he's never lowered his standards. And I think that could really help this team. A team chasing a ring, I'm not asking Chris Paul to be the main man. But having a guy like that in the dressing room, being vocal, accountability, communication, in my personal opinion, I think Jokic loves people like that. That's why he loved Russ so much. Because I guarantee you, after every game we played shit, Russell Westbrook was probably in the dressing room pissed off. Because that man wants to win. These players want to win. I also believe that he's already announced this is his last season. How the LA Clippers then decided to do what they did after he announced that is horrid. And I would wish horrible things on that franchise, but actually I think we all want the Clippers to be somewhat competent, otherwise the OKC will get their first round pick and probably be the best team for the next 2,000 years. Well, they might already be that, but I think it'll be locked in if that happened, unfortunately, and they got a good pick. So I can't really wish bad things on that franchise right now, but if that wasn't the case, if it wasn't for OKC's amazing goddamn picks, I would wish horrible things on that franchise. Enough about glazing OKC. I always find a way to do that because they're absolutely insane. But I also think, as I was saying about the accountability and vocal in the dressing room, I think it would also help Jokic. Jokic doesn't have to be as much of a vocal leader. Jokic is a leader, but I don't believe he's the type of guy to be shouting in the dressing room. Jokic leads by example. If you're doing a bad thing, he'll probably point it out and tell you straight up, listen, bro, you're not doing it well. But he's not going to yell at you. He's not going to get in a fight with you. He's just going to say, listen, mate, you got to step up. And I think having Chris Paul there really lightens the load and pressure of him a lot. Because Jokic wants to win. He's straightforward. You've seen him in press conferences. When we play bad, he says we play bad. He doesn't bullshit you. That's what Jokic is. He's he's the most honest person in the league, probably. He doesn't care about accolades, all that kind of crap. He just says what he thinks. He's an honest man. He doesn't care about stats, doesn't care about none of this. He just wants to win. It's simple. That's all he wants. But he's not the type of person to be yelling at you. Again, that's why I loved Westbrook so much. Because Westbrook, in my opinion, took a lot of that load over him and also was a backup point guard for Jamal Murray. Now, the best thing about this, in my opinion, is I believe Chris Paul, in his final season, will be able to accept a smaller role. I think he will see that as a franchise which is going for the championship this year, he will be able to accept a smaller role and buy in. In his final season, I think he will say, I've been the main man all this time. I want a ring yet. I want to ring a ring. I want to win a ring. I want to win a ring. And you'll see it's definitely possible with this team, who have the core have already won a ring and has the best player in the world right now. And I think he'll buy into that role. Listen, if he doesn't want to buy into that role and he's asking for 20 minutes a night, then tell him you're not coming. Listen, this is where you have the power here. Nuggets have the power, not Chris Paul. I think he'll buy in though. And I also think as he buys in, those minutes you get from Chris Paul, especially in the playoffs, I think those will be, he will be emptying the gas tank. Because this is his last chance. We saw it with Russ. Russ does it anyway though. Russ is always emptying the gas tank, no matter where he is, what team he's on. That's just Russ. That's that type of guy, alright? But I think Chris Paul, in his final season, he will say, this is my last stand. This is my last push. I actually believe this team can do it. I'll take a smaller role. I'll come on, and in those minutes, I'll try and get us good. Now, here's the risk and reward. Or not the risk and reward, but the problem. The problems. One, he might be washed. Alright, he might just be washed. He is 40. Two, do you really want to mess up the atmosphere? Because I personally think this atmosphere is quite good right now. And three, injury. Can he stay fit? Now, I'm a believer that he won't mess up the dressing room. I think he will improve it because he's a vocal guy. He understands the chemistry between the team already, probably. I think he's a smart guy. He's not stupid, you know? I think he will work with the atmosphere. As for being washed, I'm a believer that in the right situation, any player in this league can flourish, especially an all-time great like Chris Paul. Injury is probably my biggest concern. But again, it's high risk, low reward. We're not spending much money on him. We're not going to go bankrupt. It's not going to mess us up for the next 10 years. We're not giving any picks away. We're not trading anyone. I mean, they can take Zeke Naji for free. But this is a low risk, high reward in my opinion. Listen, worst case, he's injured a lot. Alright, we wasted a roster spot. It is what it is. The rest of the team is still amazing. Best case, Chris Paul unloads the Glock, especially in the playoffs. He puts his full effort in off the bench every night and he wins that ring. Listen, Chris Paul doesn't raise Denver's ceiling. Nikola Jokic already does that. What he does do is raise the floor. And for a team chasing another banner, sometimes that is the needle. So, what do you think? Personally, I'm a Chris Paul believer. I believe in him. Let's win that man his chip. We already tried it with Russ last time, but that season was a mess. Let's win Chris Paul that chip. Let's win this chip. I believe. Do you?